I can see the sands of my life slowly dripping down from this whatchamacallit.
Hey, Logan, it's a splash screen.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, I get. Look, they're all splash screens. This is one of the first Nick games I ever owned. I did actually own
games
this.
I ever played, if you can believe that.
What about you, Hype? You got any history that you need to like vent out about this game?
I feel like it'll probably be better left until we actually get into the meat and sea potatoes. However, I will say, this studio, you probably don't see them in a whole lot of stuff anymore. Just to get to the blunt of it, this game is why.
Yep, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our look at on Nickelodeon's SpongeBob SquarePants, Revenge of the Flying Dutchman for the PS2. And yeah, what Hype said is not wrong, because this game is not fondly looked upon compared to the likes of Battle for Bikini Bottom, and with this look at, you shall be enlightened as to why. So, as I press the start button...
What?
I do not get it.
Right, I know. Okay. Close that out. Reopen it. And you're fine. We're keeping all this in.
It can't be Audacity's fault, can it?
It can't. Well, I don't think it should be.
You're not even using it on this computer.
Unless...
I mean,
right.
is there some sort of timeout mechanic or something that Parsec implemented?
I would say the only thing I can think of, James, is that when you clicked on Audacity, you forgot to click back on the Parsec window to like have your controller be picked up by it. But I doubt that's actually
oh my
it.
god! I think that might be it. Let me try. So, okay, all right, I have it off now. So,
oh, L1.
Oh my fucking god! It is. It was that.
Oh my god!
You just forgot to refocus the window. Well now I'm keeping this in as a blooper.
Oh.
Thank you.
And we're back. Oh boy! Oh wow! They actually really put in the. And before, yeah, thank you, because I don't think they would allow us to keep that is actually the entire SpongeBob theme song in its entirety they play.
I will say though, the visuals are, the song itself's actually a re-recording.
Mm-hmm. And that same re-recording was actually reused for Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Huh. Which I don't know if we're going to be able to keep it in then either.
Here we are in the Krusty Krab, and there's really no way out of this here Krabby death trap. So we're gonna have to play a new game in order to actually start the game.
You will work here forever, and
honestly, sometimes playing these games for you all does feel like work. Here we are in a JPEG as we see our favorite creature, SpongeBob SquarePants, in his underpants.
And the best part is that, honestly, James's impression there is better than we'll get more on that stuff to you later. So I believe this was SpongeBob's first venture into full-on 3D.
Well, it's his first GameCube era. It was his first GameCube era game anyway.
So I forgot if the PlayStation 1 had full-on full-on 3D motion games.
All right, time to go to work.
I can't make Krabby Patties while I'm semi-naked.
He has a point.
Now where did I leave my...
Oh, are you and where are your pets?
Hey, you recall that episode where he gave up everything and made Krabby Patties naked?
Oh, that's right, he did do that.
How expensive was it? Just
Good morning, Gary. Wait till I tell you about my crazy dream.
Seriously, it was a nightmare. And as you see, they got pretty much all the same voice cast.
More or less.
Return for the game.
yeah. Actually, yes and no, because here's a weird thing about this game, is that they were able to get a majority of the main cast, including Clancy Brown as Mr. Krabs, so minus 1 point for Battle for Bikini Bottom, and that especially goes over Rehydrated, but that's a topic for another day. However, the weird thing is that, wait.
Uh-oh, the old SpongeBobs are calling.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, wait a minute, I forgot to wash my hands. Or flush the toilet, first off.
Seriously, you gotta do that.
Now you gotta wash your hands.
Now I gotta wash my hands. Always gotta keep clean in these dark times.
Dark times.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Did you
wait a minute. I got a loogie in my nose.
That had to be, his nose is pretty big. I can only imagine what monstrosity has been released.
He has some gas left.
Oh, you're right.
How many of these things are there?
That's it.
Okay.
Also, by the way, we're playing this game through PCSX2, so unfortunately there are going to be a few sound clips here and there that disappear.
Don't you think your little friend Gary would like to
That's
play
not
some
the
fetch?
French narrator.
And
Yeah,
that's not SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's the
Move
thing.
next to his
Hang on.
fetching stick
Want to wait for
and
this one,
press
but
the action button to pick it up. Then you can carry the stick to Gary and delight him.
Delight.
Because that's the weirdest thing, because it's like, you know, it was really weird that they couldn't get Clancy Brown for Battle for Bikini Bottom, but I think it's weirder in this instance, because you can't even say that Tom Kenny wasn't there to be the French narrator, because he's SpongeBob.
So they totally got SpongeBob. They just didn't have him reprise any roles. Or didn't, like, double on any roles.
Except for Gary.
What the?
It is weird, though. I mean, I guess in some ways it's also kind of interesting.
Oh, wait, Tom Kenny voices Gary?
Yeah.
Wow.
Donut open.
Donut open.
Don't do that. Well, I'm gonna be the curious little scamp I'm known for on
And
television.
karate chop
Oh, wow.
the thing.
Oh, jeez. Stop, Brick. That was a lot of coins that came out of that thing.
A muddy little bottle. Just think of all the fun we can have cleaning it. Here we
Way to be
go.
optimistic.
Squeegee, squeegee.
Cleaning time in. Oh, it's a genie.
It's not just any
Genie.
genie.
It's Bill
the
Murray's
flying-
older brother.
Yeah, it's Bill Murray's older brother. With animation straight out of Sonic Adventure. Look at them wacky waving, flailing. Oh,
Sorry about that.
Just hop right
Just
back in
go-
your
Oh yeah, that's
bottle
something we should
and
probably
you
mention.
back out in the
A
yard so
weird
you can-
quirk with the emulator that we've noticed so far, at least with this particular ROM, is that every other, it's kind of random, but every other voice clip will sometimes kind of be mute, so we'll probably fill in for that every now and then.
Yeah.
Wait,
I mean, I don't remember it being like that when I originally played the game way back when on my
No,
GameCube.
it didn't happen in the game. It's purely an emulation thing. However, every other bit of audio weirdery in this is purely the game.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Bear in mind, because I'm recording on my laptop, which is not connected to my computer, I have to have my computer muted so that none of it bleeds into my own audio recording. So I'm taking their word for it that we can't hear it. Nor do I want to go out and find every individual audio file and just slap it in.
Dutchman, sir, technically speaking, it was not me who found you. Gary's the
Wow.
one who does
Sell them right out. Throw them right
Wow.
over the bus.
To his credit, SpongeBob does back out of that after he finds this out.
Oh yeah, we're gonna... He wants to get his ghostly crew back.
Not Gary. That's not what I meant. Take me, not him,
Aww.
Too late. The decision is made. Now I got to check on the
No
treasures.
take-backsies.
Make sure no one's been spreading that around.
And he doesn't even look behind him to notice there's two of his doubloons are hanging on his little fish decoration.
Oh yeah, because that's the thing. Like, if you notice that when he broke open the bottle, all those doubloons are flying out. They spread out all throughout the world.
And they are part
Cursed
of this
unders-
game's major gimmick, which we'll get to momentarily. And, yeah, Gary's gonna go right back into his room and contemplate his eventual fate.
Well, I'm gonna become a big ghostly servant now. Also,
What's
yeah.
on the tube?
Never fear, Mermaid Man, for you are not alone in your
Not
fight
really.
against injustice.
But,
the talking cheese block?
well, so yeah, cursed undersea currents took the coins everywhere. So, do we really need to get every single coin?
Not every single coin, thankfully, but you will need to collect a certain amount of them in each level.
Okay, so it's like notes in Banjo-Kazooie.
Something like that. In
Essentially.
fact, there might be some in SpongeBob's room. Gary, you doing okay?
Who's afraid of the big bad Dutchman? Nah.
Ha ha!
Wow, Gary, your voice got a lot gravelly.
No
Actually,
kidding.
I don't even know if that's actually what happened, but I love the idea of him, like, temporarily possessing Gary just to have that little gotcha moment.
I could
Yeah.
totally see that.
Yeah, it is in character. Oh, by the way, there's an important moment in the kitchen. Go to the door.
Okay.
Eh?
Looks like something in my backyard is blocking the door.
Take care of that ASAP, because if you don't, that leads to a dead game later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this game, it is possible to softlock yourself, Seely.
Oh god.
At one point, we're not, this is a look at, we're never getting to that point. At one point, SpongeBob is going to be barricaded in his own home, and the only option is not to take the front door, but to go out the back door. But, if you don't do what James is about to do right now, after he gets past whatever loading or talking the game's going to have in store for him on the other side of this door. No, okay, if we don't do this right away, hey Patrick, you will be barricaded in your own home to live out the rest of your days.
Like so.
Doop.
Home
There,
sweet home.
now later when you're barricading your house, you can go out the back door.
Yep.
And
I mean,
no,
it
the
would
game
kind
doesn't
of be
tell
silly
you.
to leave that thing alone, considering, well,
Yeah.
first off, there's a single doubloon up in there that you can grab, and, well, yeah, like we just said earlier, you could easily lock yourself out doing that.
So,
Or,
That's-
excuse me, lock yourself in.
So how about we talk a little bit about controls, because SpongeBob does have a few bit of platforming tips up his sleeve.
Why don't we leave that to the French narrator to tell us?
Don't be discouraged. You
Don't
can
be
do it.
discouraged.
Press jump.
I was once
Add a
the
bit
king of
further
my
if you
spelling
press
bee
jump
when I
again
grabbed such
before you
letters
land.
from beyond.
And once you get those letters, you can use them to delight you.
Something like that, yes.
How am I going to delight with an S? We need more than just an S. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So
Gather all the letters
we got.
that
So what we're
spell
going to
your
say?
name,
We mentioned the thing.
and
We
you
mentioned the
will have
ghost. We
enough clues
mentioned.
to find
Let's actually get to down to the nitty gritty of this game. The primary goal of the game is in every level to fill out your to-do list, and basically a whole bunch of menial tasks in order to get every letter that spells out your name, your first name, thankfully. And in doing so, you'll be able to find one of the Dutchman's treasures,
Oh,
which
okay.
are the key to defeating the Dutchman himself. Oh yeah, by the way, hey Patrick,
Hey, Patrick.
is everything okay?
Not okay, not okay.
Oh, wow, yeah. Okay, again, thank you guys for filling in for the voice acting. Was it this game or was it the other one? He went, SpongeBob!
But it is this game. It happens later.
Oh, that's too bad. I wish there was something I could do to
Only
help.
there was. But yeah, so what?
I love how he just slowly looks right at us when the narrator's speaking.
Then press
And then Patrick turns like,
Nightmare
to
fuel.
reach.
and then Patrick turns, what are you looking
What are
at?
you waiting for, SpongeBob? I'm missing my shows.
But,
A real buddy
so, okay, so the
would get up
SpongeBob
there
letters,
and make
those
my
are like our
life
jiggies or
complete
our,
again.
like, power stars. If
Ah,
we
Oh,
got.
Barnacles.
barnacles.
Yeah, I know. So, whoop,
Oh,
we're gonna break off
hey!
this barrel.
Alrighty, looks like I found your problem.
Oh,
There's a
yeah,
big
no, the
thing
thing,
on your
that,
thingy
no,
and it's all
that
coming out of
looks like a
shape.
thingy
But it
problem
looks
if I've
too
ever
big
seen
for me
one.
to move.
You know, I remember what at one point Patrick did remember what the name of this thingy was, and now suddenly now he forgets.
Press the action button.
Is this just, I know that was always a joke where, like, the thing always kept falling off. I was like, was it just supposed to be an antenna?
It's an antenna.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, that's how he gets his TV reception.
Now beat the reward out of him.
My TV is fixed. You saved me from thinking, SpongeBob.
Oh
Save
my
your
god.
gratitude, my jolly pink
What are
friend.
friends
It's
for?
all in a day's work for a
Oh, that's right. I remember now. We were talking about when we were talking about how we saw like the door open and the back door and stuff. I remembered a long time ago that weird, not weird. It wasn't weird. It was just misinformed. That one SpongeBob Facts Twitter that was talking about how you've never seen SpongeBob's backyard, and someone had to say you saw it in season 1,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
during-
they
yeah.
yeah.
And off Patrick goes because apparently even though we fixed his TV for him, he's suddenly bored of TV and wants to go play at the construction site.
I would
That
love
is
if he
a
just like
level
ran
later.
straight.
Yeah,
I would love-
I feel you, SpongeBob.
I would love
Let's
if he
go
actually
grab
just
your
ran
letter and be on your way.
Oh, and the other thing is that is I saw it like posted in a freaking like Discord server earlier, and I just now lives 1-ups.
Sort of. This game doesn't have any lives per se, but collecting your pants are pretty much your overall health in this game. And you have 5 pairs you're wearing at all times.
That's, I mean that's true dedication, baby. What was this?
Yeah, you can never be too prepared for any underpants thieving nematodes
Ways.
out there.
What was it say? Is I remembered that old quote, the clip from the when they found the invisible ink spray.
Oh right,
And-
the prank episode.
Right, and I just remembered that one bit where they're terrifying all bikini bottoms like ghost. It's just pointing at somehow just that's all he was doing was just pointing at some toast. And oh gosh,
The background too, it was like a bunch of bikini flowers.
Yeah, it was just a simple, just normal toast. So anyway, now that we're seeing all this, who here has actually beaten this game?
I have, and
I
I
have
mean,
never played this game.
well, to be honestly, Seeley, no one blames you. Again, this is not one of SpongeBob's better titles. Like even compared to the likes of say Creature from the Krusty Krab or Lights, Camera, Pants, or heck, even some of the PC games like Employee of the Month.
Yep.
Right.
Which,
We'll get to that.
yeah, we are gonna cover that because I found out, like, I was just cleaning up my some of my drawers the other day, and I realized.
Hooks!
Oh, Mr. Krabs warned me about playing hooky.
Just be very careful, or else some unknown Animal Crossing villager will.
Troublemaker.
I love how the narrator says that. That's so on point.
It's not to tell if you use your fishing net to hang from them. That's the only
Oh, you little SquarePants.
But yeah, that's the thing. Another interesting thing about this about this game, you're gonna need different costumes to do different things, and you get them through these tents.
Oh.
Unfortunately, from the get-go, you only have access to two outfits: your regular SquarePants and the fishing gear.
I also was thinking, oh, so I'll get jellyfishing. Also, I was thinking of just, you little troublemaker. You can be honest with me.
Also,
Do those hooks.
But yeah, so first off, yeah, when you're in this,
You can capture
use
those guys.
Yeah, you can get the jellyfish, which you actually do need the jellyfish for a bunch of missions later. That's what you use for gliding, which doesn't make any physical sense because it's a net. And yeah, you can use the net itself to hang on the hooks.
Oh, okay.
Actually, why don't we go take care of that real quick?
And then the thing, oh jeez. And then the thing I was saying was, you can be honest with me. Do those hooks delight you? It's okay if they. It's okay. It's okay if they delight you. Whoa!
Get back here, you mangy hook!
Also, I want to say, because I know
There we go.
that it's supposed to be like a backpack, but when I was younger and I saw him walking around from the back, I just thought that when he had this costume, only this costume, he had an extended posterior.
It does.
That's what it looks like to me.
He
right
has
now.
fanny
It does
pants.
look like that. They really should have like given it a different color. Did he have this in the show, like an
Nope.
actual backpack?
Not
No.
really. Which, I mean, is funny considering, I mean, this does seem fairly practical.
I mean, yeah. Oh, and what can we use the jellyfish for now that we've got them?
Actually-
excuse me?
They're part of the to-do list.
Oh, okay. Those are okay.
They're part of the to-do list. And there
Oh,
are certain
hello.
missions-
What do we got here?
Tartar sauce. Clams in the trash again. Looks like Mr.
You're
Krabs
gonna
will have to
kill
call
him?
the exterminator.
Do not be so hasty, for these clams are
delightful.
just a part of the cycle of life. When a clam shuts its mouth, you can jump onto it.
Okay. I mean, again, I have to give this game some credit in that it was. I feel like this was like the precursor. Like this pioneered a lot of the mechanics that would appear in future SpongeBob 3D games.
Sort of. Although, it goes without saying that, like, later SpongeBob games did do several things a whole lot better. Mm-hmm. Lest we
Yeah.
forget, you know, just the... I mean, yeah, like, for one thing, the controls of this game, I mean, they get the job done alright, but honestly... Whoa.
Oh boy.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay,
But,
no
yeah,
worries.
like, the controls for this game are... They could be better.
Yeah.
Oh, they look a little dated. Dated is what I was
Also-
saying.
And
Also, the song that you're hearing right now, this is one of only 5 or so tracks throughout the entire game.
yeah, that's another complaint people have. The soundtrack is kind of like the songs in and of themselves are nice. It's just very repetitive.
Aw,
There's
that's not good when the loop's not too long. Ah, well.
entirely no. So how about we go ahead and head inside the Krusty Krab? And, oh, looks like we got ourselves some hooligans down here. Let's see if I
Yeah,
can
okay.
take care of this guy.
That guy actually used to scare me as a kid when I was like, what the... Who lets this man who eats pants into the Krusty Krab... Oh,
Just smack him.
Truce? How much health does he have?
You can just hit him with your net.
Can I? I figured
Yeah.
you could only get him with a body slam or karate chop.
Yep, well, the net swing is basically like just another melee attack.
Okay.
Whoop.
Dang it, you gotta sneak up on those ones. So Sealy, which did you own any SpongeBob games?
No, never.
Have you ever
Did you own
played?
any
Have you played
Nickelode-
these SpongeBob games?
Nope.
Did you ever own any Nickelodeon games?
Nope. I don't think so.
Oh, by the way, little tip, James, whenever you see the green jellyfish, just so that it's faster, like, jump towards them and get them. Like that.
Oh, alrighty.
There we
Also,
go.
I don't know. Also, I don't know why I was like starting to freaking barter. I felt like I was bartering with Celia at one point. We're trying to get the thing where it's like, all the references I'm gonna make. It reminded me.
The jellyfish was there.
Reminded me of freaking Ratatouille, where it's like, did you ever have a rat? No. Friend have a rat. Live in a lab with rats. No.
Let's see. There's actually there's one more letter we can get. Let me see what I still need to do.
Power jump near. Oh, the chum bucket.
Well, sorry, Mr. Krabs. I'm heading over to the chum bucket.
I'm sure you're doing what now?
And it's just a faded echo, like he haunts the Krusty Krab to this day. Oh my gosh! Didn't they, in the midst of all this, didn't they like put out a video, the SpongeBob cast singing the SpongeBob song or something
They
like
did,
that?
and it was cute, and whoa.
Look at this.
Oh,
a
didn't mean to do
bus
that.
stop.
Basically,
think-
bus stops are your means of traversing to other levels, but you need a ticket to get to them.
Where can we get tickets from?
You get them as missions later.
Your
Oh.
wish can easily come true. All
But
you
yeah,
need
like,
is the right
it's not
ticket for this
surprising,
bus
but are
stop.
we gonna ignore
When you have
the
the correct
vats of
ticket,
chemical
jump onto
waste behind the
bench
jump
and the
bucket?
bus will stop for
I
you.
mean, it's certainly curious. Sure. Oh, hey, that's easy.
We did it!
Oh my god!
Bring it around town!
Oh my god!
So
I thought we
now-
just went super.
yeah.
I thought we just went Super Saiyan and destroyed all of Bikini Bottom in a horrible supernova. I'm almost half tempted to. What the hell?
Okay, so
We're
now
right
that you-
inside the inner machinations of SpongeBob's mind.
Yep. Now that you collected all of the letters in an area, it gets you access to this little puzzle. And don't worry about the timer. The timer's actually really generous. Basically, you have to do this sliding puzzle to reveal the location of one of the Dutchman's treasures.
And the first one we're getting is, well, I'm honestly surprised that we didn't see it earlier because it's clearly in plain sight.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't
it's
spawn
just-
until you do this.
Oh, there you go. Oh, look at the tweening on his little animation head.
That laugh from Patrick was oddly well timed. Not going to mince words.
No worries.
So once
And-
once you figure out the puzzle, now it's time to actually don some scavenger hunting gear and look for said treasure.
With a dowsing rod.
Yep.
Slash pogo stick, but again, we saw where it was.
Yeah, basically, for those that can't tell, this is kind of where the rumble comes into play. Like, you use the dowsing rod, and depending on the intensity of the rumble is the direction you want to go.
SpongeBob, I have a suspicion. I think that's it. Okay, there you go. And it's just so so we don't need to find every coin. We just need to find all these treasures
Yep. And here's our first treasure.
It's his ghostly
Yes.
sock.
to go over his ghostly tail. Can we stop looking at this now, game?
There you go.
Thank you.
I think the game takes a little too much pride in their work.
But
But
now that we found
looking-
the treasure, it's emboldened him to get Gary.
Yep. It's high time Gary accepted his fate.
Time has come for you to join my ghostly. No use fighting it. Your fate's been decided.
and the way he hypnotizes it is just by using a little golden fishing rod, and no, Gary loves that stick.
Yeah.
And
Gary.
poof.
Gary, where are you, boy?
Eh,
Gary!
I'm sure.
Why did you take
Oh
Gary,
no!
Mr. Dutchman?
Whoa, his face is actually stretching out from his. Do you see that face is stretching out from his body?
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't look quite right.
I also almost thought we were about to have a thing where it's like, I'm sure I'll be fine. Nothing worth having a whole film over.
Actually, before we do end off our look at, there is one smallish sort of events I do want to tackle real quick.
Oh yeah, with Mr. Squidward.
Hey, Squidward.
Hello, SpongeBob. So nice
That's
of
a
you to
awfully
finally
Ripto-esque mouth you're sporting today, Squidward.
Yeah.
Look at look at that underbite he has now. Just
join. I don't have time.
And I look at the way it stretches.
that's what I'm saying. It's like Ripto. It's like all the plastic and rubber. But then when it's closed, look at his mouth. You can see his curvature of his lip, and it's like an underbite. Like
Yeah.
it's like the dog from Wacky Races or whatever.
What?
Oh, you mean
Like
Muttley?
Like
You
Muttley?
just keep
Yeah, it looked like that was a super Muttley.
you're
Like,
done.
So that's how it is. Trying to hear the news.
We're gonna have a
before
race?
me, eh?
It's not an
Well,
actual
you can
race.
get the
Basically, it's
crusty
just
crab first.
it doesn't really matter who gets there first.
I kind of, I part of me does kind of love that. That's like, yeah, we're just having a race. SpongeBob, please stay in your own lane. But I do. But part of me
On
does
your
like that.
left.
But part of me does like that where it's. Wait, where is he? I can't find him.
He's right behind you.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
He's,
yeah.
he's basically just gonna take a sweet time getting to the Krusty Krab.
I do like
Yeah,
the fact that
it's
the
just
game
like-
actually does acknowledge if Squidward actually does get to the Krusty Krab before you, some dialogue does change.
Is he like, how did you lose? I have to start.
Something like that.
I
I
can
mean,
see,
yeah,
like-
at the end of the day, he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I can see like, how did you lose? I have to start trying less.
Once again, we see that more legs doesn't mean more speed.
You
And once
somersaulted
again, we
like
see
half
that
of the
more
way.
holes in your head means less stays inside of it.
I was gonna say, let's make some marriage. Oh, hello, Clancy Brown, in one of your few video game appearances.
Again, you're here, but yet not in Battle for Bikini Bottom.
But
Yeah.
no, they got you to. But no, they got you to voice a Mad Baron and Jack 2.
I
That's
think I'm gonna
true.
faint.
Yeah, was Jack 2 released around the time Battle for Bikini Bottom?
I believe so. Yeah, that was 2003.
Oh yeah, wow.
Well, isn't that just
I mean, like
great?
it's.
Going home to think of some ways to pay the
Oh.
bills.
Yeah, so
Why are we
apparently
closing?
well, that's the thing. Apparently, customers don't feel like going out to eat anymore, so we're gonna have to think of some ways to rectify that problem.
How oddly fucking relevant. And yeah,
And actually, also relevant, we're going to help the Krusty Krab adapt in these harsh times. I'm sorry. Anyway,
so yeah, this is actually part of the second chapter of the game where we're gonna be a delivery boy.
to the dark, dank downtown where it's never frickin' sunny.
Something like that, yeah. It's almost as bad as Rock Bottom, if you can believe it.
It really is. Gotta be. And it's all. That was the level where I think I got as far as there, and then there's a ticket. I got as far as that level, and then I kind
By
of
the way, is
stopped
anyone
after.
gonna take these Krabby Patties? No? Well, I guess I'll help myself.
Could I have one?
But it's like I got to this level we're gonna be heading to, but probably not showing off for the look at, and then I stopped.
I
Oh,
still
cool,
remember,
free salad
still
bar.
remember the free salad bar.
It's worth every penny. But I the next level is for me as a kid at least playing. It felt pretty labyrinthian.
It really is. Like it's one of those cases where you could easily get yourself lost.
Every place looks like the exact place you've been to before.
The
They
thing
all
that's
look
the
the
thing
same.
that sets them all apart is the numbers.
Oh, okay, that's it. But, and I think this returns in. I feel like this returns in Battle for Bikini Bottom or somewhere. Or was it just this game with the buses?
The buses? Well, the buses in Battle for Bikini Bottom served a different purpose. That's how you swap your characters.
Okay.
I do like this little bit that comes up.
Find Mr. Krabs in such a huge place where the streets
How
never
will we
end and the
find
buildings
him?
just go on and
We're gonna have to
on
spend
and
days just to try to find where Mr.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, hey.
Oh, that was easy. Mr. Krabs!
And
I
all
thought
that-
you were a goner in this dark, dank asylum.
It'll take more than that to take me down. I don't know. I also think this. I also do think this is kind of cute. This weird little food truck version of the Krusty Krab in one go. So yeah, they adapt and become a delivery service. But I feel like we're already pushing the limits of a look at time now. As once we
Do
figure
you
this
mind?
all out.
I mean, honestly, do you mind if I just do it for a little bit? I know there's one particular bit I do want to stop at, if that means anything.
With her.
Not so much with her, but with him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what
Because
happens.
we can't find him in this level.
17 Seashell Street.
I mean, honestly, folks, I'm making the most of this considering the fact that, again, Clancy Brown doesn't return from Battle for Bikini Bottom.
I know, and they could have gone him back for Rehydrated, but they chose. But
Yeah. From
okay.
what I heard, that was Nick's decision for some reason.
Really?
Okay, I didn't need to see
That
that.
was weird.
Alright, so
Seashell-
off
okay,
to
17
Seashell
Seashell.
Street. So basically the way to know where to go is to pay attention to the signs.
And then the numbers. Okay.
And honestly, just keep jumping, because that's the fastest way to carrying stuff and moving at the same time.
Yeah.
And don't drop down.
Also,
oh
Gary,
boy,
is that you? Oh, goodness me, you're not Gary.
looks like Larry.
Well, we
neither
know
of
for
them
one
were.
thing, it's certainly not Jerry.
Never is like Jerry. Okay, should be the next one coming up.
Yeah, it's just around the corner, I think, or maybe I passed it.
No. You keep going. Keep going.
Keep
The,
going.
the odd number's gonna be on the right, so 17 should
It's
be
right there.
right here on my right.
Here it is. And you got
That's
a
it.
tip.
So what do we use the sand dollars for?
You use it to buy stuff later.
Okay.
Plot important stuff, to be precise.
Oh dears.
So if you don't have that money right on hand, too bad. That's your problem.
So I was gonna say, I was thinking about it, like, we praised the Medieval remake for not re-recording any of their audio. Like, so it was okay there, but it wasn't okay for Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Well, I would say I don't think it's like a big issue for Battle for Bikini Bottom because Krabs and Mermaid Man aside, I do like the voice work in Battle for Bikini Bottom. It's just an instance of there was a reason. Well, we don't really know the reason, but you know, it's clear that they weren't there for the original. This was a prime opportunity to bring him back to redo those lines, but they chose not to.
Which,
'cause, like,
I'm half and half on it.
Well, I mean, like, because I feel for the guy who at least was given a chance to be Mr. Krabs, and wow, this place is pretty, like, chaotic.
Some of the other workers might try to take the food.
Well, which worker is it then?
Well,
Don't
we're
worry,
not going
it's
to take
easy to
this
tell.
food to any of those two workers because, let's just
Look at
say an old
Patrick.
friend of ours is actually here and is rather hungry.
In the far distance. Yay,
It's
verily.
Barnacle Boy, I mean Patrick.
What is he doing just as Barnacle?
Don't try to get away.
What?
For all
the hell are you doing? Patrick, put on some clothes.
Really had me.
Yeah,
Well, that's
honestly.
what his Barnacle Boy outfit looks like.
Where did you get that
That
from,
ain't
costume?
clothing.
I mailed in 450 kelp bar wrappers.
Wow.
And got both official costumes from the Mermaid Man show.
Wait, you
Wow,
got
you got
both?
both of
You
them?
got
Yep.
both costumes? Oh, can I be
Oh,
in
so
it
this is how they
now?
got their costumes.
Please.
I mean, I guess that's again part of what I like these games, that you could totally see them as being episodes in the show.
If only I had something yummy to
Kelp bar.
Well,
okay,
that's too
oh,
bad. Hey!
Patties?
Wow.
Yoinks.
Just
Now we can
kind of
put
just
Mermaid
scarfed it down without a second thought. Just had an impulse thought and acted
there,
upon it
SpongeBob.
immediately.
Watch out, evil! Here we come!
And oh yeah,
And he goes screws off.
but it is actually important because we do get a cool power up now,
Yep,
which I
now
think is
we
actually
can
really
become
good for,
Mermaid Man!
which is actually really good for combat.
Savior of the
Sort of.
deep!
So basically, with Mermaid Man, with the big power up is that like instead of having melee attacks, you have ranged attacks with the Raging Whirlpool. Not Raging Whirlpool, but
Water ball.
That.
If you can
Well, they
hit
can aim it.
there.
yeah.
Oh,
Come on.
jeez.
Larry.
Whoa!
Oh, there we go.
You killed him, man.
Not only that, we have superhuman strength!
Also, I see
Actually,
what they're
you
trying to
can
do. Also, I appreciate what they're trying to do with the eyebrows, but because his eyes don't actually change shape beneath the eyebrows, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Also, you say the super strength thing. Technically, you can pick that up with regardless of what costume you have on.
I said super strength.
I had to ruin my big moment, but yeah, that's pretty much what you get. That's pretty much what you get with the Mermaid Man costume. And already I'm having a hard time actually trying to get up these platforms.
It looks like he's not quite as good with the platforming.
He's
Like
about
I
as
said-
agile as. Let's just say he's about as agile as the current Mermaid Man.
Oof.
I mean, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's actually a good place for us to stop. So hope you all enjoyed our little look at on SpongeBob: Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. Again, I mean, it was an interesting return to my old childhood, but at the same time, though, I wouldn't recommend this to the children of today.
I was about to say, dear viewers, notice how he did not attempt to save his game the second he was closing. He's like, nope, I'm confident, we're done.
Yeah. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, hope you all enjoyed our little look at here, and, well, go play a better game. Go play Rehydrated when that comes out.
I am still looking forward to that. Mr. Krabs' eye spasms in the back there aside, I am looking forward to Rehydrated. I know it looks weird, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Take care, everybody.
Till next time, everybody.
Delight him.